So I thought today I would show you how to make a bow tie block. A bow tie block. How many of you have made bow tie blocks before? This bow tie block is a little bit different because the center is actually has a little bit of poof to it. It's three-dimensional, if you will. And it's kind of a fun technique to be able to do. So I'm going to go ahead and take you step by step on how to make a bow tie block. And then I've got a pattern for you as well. So don't worry if you didn't catch it all of me sharing, because I've got a downloadable for you. Okay, so I'll start out by telling you this is the block that I'm going to be making. All right, isn't that cute? Then I'm going to show you some examples of what some of our customers have made with this pattern, the bow tie block pattern. So the first thing you need are 3 pieces. I'm just doing this with 5-inch squares. Okay, again, the technique is the same no matter what size block you make, but I'm going to do 5-inch squares. Okay, so my bow tie consists of 3 5-inch squares. If you can see here, this is square number 1, and then you've got square number 2, and then you have the center, which is the part of the bow tie. Now you could actually make that center different if you wanted to, like I did on this one. Notice the center is different. All right, the center is different of the bow tie. So we've got 3 parts to the bow tie, and then you have your 2 background pieces. So gotta love those, right? So this is what I'm gonna do. All righty. All right, let's take a look. Okay, so the first thing that you're going to do is you take one of your background pieces and you have it with the right side facing up. Okay, right side facing up, and you'll take whatever is going to be the center of your bow tie, and we're going to fold it in half with wrong sides together. Now I know that's something that we're not used to doing. As quilters, we usually do right sides together, right? But this is your exception. You're going to actually fold wrong sides together. So I folded it in half. There we go. And I'm going to place it just right alongside of my background square, just with the edges lined right up. Then I'm going to take another piece of my bow tie block. So this is the piece number 2. And I'm going to now put it, I'm making like a little quilt sandwich. I'm going to put it right side facing down on top of what I just did with the center. Okay, so one more time, I have my background right side up. I have my center of my bow tie folded in half with the wrong sides together. Then I'm going to take another part of my bow tie, put right side facing down directly on top. Okay. Then I'll take it to a sewing machine, and using a 1/4-inch seam allowance, I'm going to stitch right along here. Now I know that some of you might be thinking, oh, you must sew down where, you know, all those layers are. Actually, you're going to sew on the opposite side. Okay, so I'm going to turn this around, and today I am working on the baby lock crescendo. Okay. Press her foot down, and here we go. Oh, and it came unthreaded. You know me in this. All right. It's just my luck. All right, no big deal. No big deal. There we go. And use my Never Miss needle threader. There we go. All right, back to business. Okay, so then I had just sewn that piece. When I fold it out, it looks kind of interesting. Something interesting is happening here. Let me pull that out. Let's see. Let me get a better angle here. Let me pull this back. Okay, so I have that one that was flapping. I'm going to pull this up and I'm going to make those the two squares line up. Okay, just one on top of each other. So again, I just pull this up and bring them together. All right. At this point, I'll just finger press this. So I have my one part of the bow tie. I have the center of the bow tie, which is going to go like that. I have two pieces remaining. What am I going to do with these? Well, I want you to think of it this way. If this bow tie is facing up, I want it opposite. And I still am going to face it up, but I'm going to put it underneath this one. Okay, so I just placed it underneath, but I just want it opposite. That's why I put this one down first, because this one's on top. And because this piece is on the bottom, I'm going to put this one on top. Again, noting that I am just going opposite of each other. Okay, so I'm going to go through that just one more time. We just finished sewing this together, right? I sewed down that seam. I'm going to pull this center up to bring those together. Now it doesn't matter which one is on top that's showing. You're just going to do the opposite. So before I had the yellow on top, right now I'm just going to show you the pink on top. Okay, no big deal, because what I'm going to do, I want you to think this through. If this one's on top, where is this one going to go? This one's going to go opposite. So it's going to go underneath, again with right side up. And also aligning these edges. And then because the yellow one is on the bottom over here, this yellow one is going to go opposite right on top. Just like that. Okay, and now I'm going to sew down this side. All right. So let's see what's happening here. Ba-bum. Ta-da! Here we go. This looks like a very strange looking block, does it not? It's very different on how this block comes together. So it's like you have two houses with a bridge going between both houses. That's what I want you to think about it like. Two houses with a bridge going across. If your blocks look like this, you have done it exactly right. Okay? All right, the folds are there. So now this is what could be a tricky part, but I promise after you do one, it will make so much sense and you'll go, oh, this is easy. I'm going to bring up these two top pieces and I want to match them together. Okay, because we're going to be sewing these together. But what happens is that with this little bridge, it's going to also pop out like that. And the first thing you want to do is match up your seams, those center seams in the middle. So again, one more time, because I want to make sure this is very, very clear. I've got these squares like this. I'm going to bring them up to touch each other. And what happens is that this little bridge starts to open up. All right. So with that bridge open up, now I can get to, and if it doesn't open up, you want to take a minute just to make sure that's even on both sides. Okay, so it's going to open up, and now you can match your seams together, those center seams, and this is where you'll use a pin. And I'm just going to place that pin right there in the center. Then what I want you to do is I want you to join the ends together. So I'll place another pin on one end, and on this end I'll place another pin and go right there. Okay, now one more thing. This is looks a little nutso, right? Make sure that you put your little fingertips right into that bridge and pull it out. You're going to pull it out as much as possible, and then you're going to pin one more time right there so that the bridge becomes nice and flat. And I'm going to take this one, pull it out, and pin it right there. Okay, so that's all you have to do. Now you're going to take it back to the sewing machine and stitch that whole line, and then you'll be finished. But take a look at it. It's a little strange. It kind of goes, that's okay. It's because you have that big bump in the middle. Just follow the edge of your block and you will be just fine. All right. So again, that bridge is laying flat. All right. So now I'm going to take it back to the machine and press her foot down, 1/4 inch seam allowance once again. And I will sew this a little more careful as I get towards that center. You've got several layers going on there. And I want to make sure and keep my presser foot as straight against the edge as possible. Alrighty, cut my threads. And now, my friends, it's almost like opening a Christmas present. It's so fun. Are you ready? Are you ready for this? Look at this. Ta-da! Look how cute! There is your bow tie block, your 3-dimensional bow tie block. Is that the cutest thing you ever did see, or what? Oh my gosh, this is so much fun. So you can have all sorts of fun with this. You could do all different scrappy blocks and make this as scrappy as possible. You know, your background blocks don't even have to be the same. They could be scraps of 2 different colors, and then you keep the bow tie all the same color. You could make the bow tie center smaller, whatever you'd like. But it is like magic. This bow tie block is like magic, because when you open it up, this is what you get. So what I would do would be, I would take it to my ironing station. Let me just turn this around real quick. And I would give it a nice little press on top. Okay, and press it down. Because I want to show you something else that happens with this block. And look, it all goes back into place. Oh my goodness, this is so cute. I love it. I love it. Okay. Alrighty. Look at that. Isn't that fun? Now, another thing you could do, think of this. Some people will ask, probably, I haven't looked at your comments yet, but some might ask, do you sew this down? You could, if you wanted to. You could certainly top stitch that down, but you don't have to. I kind of like a little bit more of the poofiness of it. When I taught this in a class about a year ago here at the shop, we had a customer who actually put a little bit of batting on this piece, and it made that piece stand out a little bit more, which is really cute. I love that. We also had someone actually turn each of these side pieces in, because it gave you an automatic curvature, almost like a cathedral window. So I'm going to put a couple pins in here so you can see what happens. Do you see? Because that is on the bias, you get a nice little difference in your square. Now, this doesn't really show up very well if your center is the same as your edge pieces. But if you did a different center This would be really cute. And you could certainly make it into more of a cathedral window and top stitch that down, and that would be fun. So it would look almost like a, you know, just a curved piece inside there without having to do curved piecing. What do you guys think? Spin you around. Okay. You liking that? Yes, Suzanne says it always works. It does. Your first one will be a little like, am I doing this right? This seems so strange. It seems so counterintuitive. Like, it just doesn't seem right, right? But it will work, I promise. So try it and play around with it, okay? And it would be a darling table topper. You know, make a few of them. And the fun thing is, or a quilt or whatever you want it to be. But the fun thing about this is that depending on which way you turn your blocks, you're going to get different looks. So I decided that we had a lot of our wonderful customers, some of you are out there right now watching this, who took on this challenge last year when I gave the challenge of making a bow tie quilt. And I went back to my Instagram page today to find some of your pictures. So I want to share with you some of the pictures that you all sent in to me after learning how to do the bow tie block. So let's take a look at some of them. Look how cute this one is. In fact, I believe this one is Shauna Madsen, I believe. Am I right, Shauna, on this? She used all 30s prints. I love how she actually added sashing in between the blocks, and she then put little cornerstones in between them. She does have all the bow tie blocks going in the same direction. So again, you're going to see a few different examples here of how just by turning the block, and whether you use sashing or you just put them right up against each other, either one is perfect. Yep, Shauna says it was. I thought so. I remembered this when you shared it with us in Sandy, because it was just so cute, and I absolutely love 30s fabrics, so that's really cute. Okay, here's one that somebody did. A lot more traditional looking fabrics, looking prints, and they didn't add sashing. They are all going in the same direction, and isn't that beautiful? It's hanging over her banister at her home. So I thought that was beautiful. She used all the same backgrounds, but then changed up the bow tie fabrics. All right, let's see, who else? Here we've got one. Now, Diana had shared this one with us, and I like on this one, she did this as a little baby boy quilt, and she used all the same fabrics for this quilt. So the gray, the white, and the blue. And so it kind of also gives a different look, because if you notice, the center of those bow ties really stand out. And then it's almost like having just a 4-patch with the squares in the middle. So Diana did that for a little baby quilt. Thought that was really fun. Let's see, here's another one that was sent in. You can see on this one, let's take a more up close look at this. She actually had the bow ties coming in kind of at X's. If you just kind of separate that quilt out a little bit and take a close look, you can see how the different bow tie blocks become X's, which gives the look of like snowballs, 4-patch snowballs all over the quilt. Isn't that cute? I hope this is inspiring all of you. Then here's a darling one, also a little baby quilt that was made, and this is with the navy blues and whites. You can't go wrong with the polka dots. How cute is that? And on this one, if you'll notice, okay, the one I just showed you had the X's going out. This one still has X's going out, but it creates this secondary pattern again, of the snowballs, but because the snowballs are in dark fabrics, all right, the snowballs are in dark fabrics, it gives a whole new feel to this quilt. And I love how she did the scrappy border all the way around. Let's see, a couple more. Oh, I've already shown that one. I just hurried and quickly grabbed some of them, not everyone. Okay, I love this. Look at the bright, bright colors. You can see that it's, again, created a secondary pattern. So rather than having all of the bow ties going in the same direction, again, they are opposite. And look how cute that is. That looks like a dear Jane. Not one. What is that name? American Jane. American Jane Fabrics. Is that yours, Susan? Susan was just saying that that was hers. Yep. Susan, it is so cute. I absolutely love this one. And you have to tell me, did you have fun making it? And was it frustrating? How was it for you? But if you take a look, you've got 4 blocks actually make a bigger size block. Oh, here's another thing that Susan did on this one. If you take a look at the second block, so the first block has the white snowball in the center. The second block went opposite of that. So you have the bow ties coming out from the center, not the background. Isn't that cute? Oh, the navy blue one was Susan's. Okay. I don't remember whose this one was. But yeah, I love this. I absolutely love it. And so again, you can see the differences of depending on which way you do it, it will work. Okay, and then I've got, let's see, here's another one that somebody had turned in. Again, so fun. This is a great stash buster, my friends. It's just 5-inch blocks, but I have to be a little partial here. Yep, Sherry says it looks like X's and O's, because this one happens to be my favorite. Shout out to Suzanne. She's probably dying seeing this picture, but this is your cute little grandbaby. Is she not the sweetest? And she made this one for her granddaughter, and there she is on top of her bow tie quilt. So cute, so cute. I bet this little girl has changed a lot since you took this picture, Suzanne. Isn't that adorable? Oh, that smile. So fun. So anyway, there you have it. That is the bow tie block, and it is just too fun not to try. If you've never tried it before, pull out your scraps, pull out your stash, and just give it a try. Just even make one. Make one and say, hey, I kind of like this. Or maybe you make one and you think, not for me.